Alright, we're gonna be reacting to Mrtlexify's second channel, Lex Lounge, ranking every perk in Call of Duty Zombies from World at War to BS6. I got a friend with me, Jacob. So here we go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back ranking every single Call of Duty Zombies perk after almost 2 years.
By the way, Jacob, can you please plug in your headset? It's echoey.
I need to put them on anyways.
Alright, let me know and just go again.
Say that again, please.
Alright? Okay, it's not echoing anymore. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1, again.
And
I don't know why I did that, but
the inclusion of the new Black Ops 6 perks being
Black Ops 6, Melee Macchiato,
and the new variation of Vulture. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get straight into this. We also are including the B04 perks, but let's start off with the OGs. Now, let's just get straight into it. Honestly, let's just pull up Quicker Vibe, Juggernog, Speed Cola, and then obviously the original
Double Tap
1.0. Now, I think my opinion has definitely changed about these perks over time. I think obviously, like, you still think that Double Tap is one of the worst perks, but to be
remember, Double Tap 1, it just makes you shoot faster.
I don't think it's an F tier perk. I really only think there's one F tier perk in this whole entire list. Actually, no, I think there's two, but I do believe one of them is still the original variation of Deadshot Daiquiri. I think that perk is just so bad. It does practically nothing for solo, does nothing for co-op either, it does nothing for PC either. It's mainly only for console. So if you're ever running this perk, it just has no point. It's a massive waste of a perk slot, and I would rather just get it as something as an additional 5th perk or whatever. So definitely not that great. It helps with headshots, but even in the older games, that doesn't really...
do you agree with his opinion on Deadshot Daiquiri?
Of course, dude.
Yeah,
make
that's nothing on PC, bro.
I think I am gonna stick with leaving Double Tap 1.0.
Double Tap 1, Double Tap 2 is way better, though.
There are times where I do believe it actually can be very helpful to have. And so that's why, like, I used to actually have Double Tap 1.0 in the F tier. But to be quite honest, I think it does do a lot more than the original Deadshot. Like, sure, it doesn't give you 2 bullets per 1 bullet like Double Tap 2.0 here, but it does still help you take out the zombies even that much slightly faster. So let's get into the 3 perks. Obviously, I think I'm gonna still stick with my original placement for Quicker Vibes. It's an S tier. It has to be in the S tier. It's one of the best perks. You need it to.
There is a tier above for some reason, SS tier. So we'll see what goes there.
We have a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th chance in the OG Call of Duty Zombies. It helps you pick up your friends faster. I mean, what could be better than that? And obviously, the original Juggernog is
Jug is SS. Do you agree with Jug?
Yeah, bro. No, I put it in F. It's really easy.
Alright, but
just so amazing. It literally is what allows people to get to those higher rounds. And I do think that...
Alright.
Okay.
Well, I know when you're back. Time are we at? You know what, we're just gonna keep the video playing, and then when he comes back, I'll see what he said.
Juggernog over the years has definitely gotten a lot less useful.
Yeah. Probably for BS6 and Cold War.
In Black Ops 6, I find it's not as good, especially with the newer variation of the Cold War Quicker Vibe. But for Speed Cola, I think I'm also gonna have to put this in the S tier.
Speed Cola S, not SS. Yeah, I agree, because Speed Cola is so useful, bro.
Quicker Vibe.
Reload your gun faster, and the non-useful part where you can rebuild barriers faster. I mean, I guess it's a nice bonus, but who's really remembering that? Alright, I kept playing it so we could continue with the video, but I'll tell you what he said. He ranked Speed Cola S tier. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yarp.
You literally can't do so many of the high round strategies in Call of Duty Zombies. It is a must-have perk to run. And so now, let's get more into the Black Ops 2 perks.
The average person sees hundreds of online ads daily. Here's how a man's life would change if he used...
Since we've now finished World at War
Alright, here we go.
Black Ops 1 perks, I guess, other than
Stamina up
PhD, so let's
and
do that,
PhD.
and Double Tap 2.0.
And Double Tap 2.0.
So, and Mule Kick, I'm forgetting.
And Mule Kick.
So, Stamina Up, honestly, I used to think that this perk was not really that great. But over speedruns and watching a bunch of speedruns, it is the only perk you need. And honestly, in my opinion, in my last tier list, I
For speedruns, yeah.
actually placed it in the A tier.
Because technically, if you are good enough in a speedrun, you don't need Jug, Speed Cola, Quick Revive, stuff like that.
I'm gonna put it up in the double S tier now because it is literally the best perk you could run if you're doing speedrunnings. It's so important. Without stamina up on maps like Transit or Origins, or Transit doesn't even have it. Never mind. On Origins,
On Origins, go to the.
wouldn't even be able to play those maps. Black Ops 4 Stamina Up as well is such a good variation, and so to me, I think Stamina Up has really become an amazing perk over time. Now,
Yeah.
PhD Flopper is going to be an interesting one because I know Treyarch has...
The leg survived Reagan with PhD meme. Dude, it is still massive. I guarantee if I go to his comments, there's gonna be at least there's gonna be one guy. I don't have time to scroll right now.
always thought that this perk has been extremely overpowered. It's only 2,000
PhD
points, gives you that explosive immunity, and also lets you flop with an explosive damage, which is amazing on maps like Call of the Dead. Like the high round strap primarily uses this perk to get through to the top rounds.
I'd give PhD a B, maybe an A. I don't know.
Right.
What?
It is really good on like custom maps, such as like maybe like
Spiral Final, dude. When you're sliding down the stairs. By the way, we will have a collab coming out on normal zombies soon. Alright. I'm probably gonna cut that part out, but essentially, if it's left in, it's left in. But if it wasn't, it wasn't, so we're gonna continue.
Old perk list, I don't even think I'd put this in the S tier. It was just in the
A
tier.
not S tier.
And to be honest, I think it still deserves that spot. I don't really find that PhD was as powerful as Treyarch used to say it was. And so that's why, honestly, I've decided to just leave it in the A tier. Now, for Mule Kick, I really think Mule Kick's biggest gripe, with my opinion, in the older games, is that it doesn't tell you which gun you have.
Yes. Because it's like, what if you forget? It's kind of like, how are you supposed to know?
And anytime you pack a punch, it always cycles between it. And so, to be honest, I think the original version of Mule Kick, especially being 4,000 points across all of the other variations of the game, I think it really is the worst variation. And to be honest, I don't even think it deserves B tier. I'm going to put it in the same tier as Double Tap 1.0.
I agree.
In the C tier, because ultimately, I just don't think it's that great. Okay, you know what? I'll put it in B tier. I'll put it in B tier because I can already hear people going crazy at me. So
I mean, it does give you 3 guns, but I don't know.
Perk, but it's just
B or C. I don't think it goes below C. I don't think it goes above B.
Newer games where Mule Kick is a lot cheaper, I feel like that is obviously where it's a lot better. Especially in IW, it's only like 2,000 points, and you're able to actually.
You back?
no.
Okay, by the way, where he ranked a few perks. He ranked Mule Kick at B and PhD Flopper at A. Do you agree with those?
Yeah, I mean, PhD Flopper would be an S in my opinion. It's just so goaded on some custom maps. Because like, think about it, Star Final without it, you're practically dead. I mean,
no, you're not practically dead.
Dog, dude, if you're at the very high up, dog, and there's like 15 of them. There's like 1,000 of them.
Then that's a skill issue. Like, you should just get better at the game, though. No, the problem with
C, which is your third gun, which is amazing. Now, Double Tap 2.0, honestly, I only rated this perk, I believe, in the S tier. But after everything going on with Black Ops 6, and like, we haven't seen Double Tap in almost 10 years since Black Ops 3 now. Honestly, I think I'm going to put this one in the double S tier. I really miss Double Tap, and it really goes to show how, with the new modernized Call of Duty zombie games, we just need this perk back so bad. Especially because it would literally double the ammo that you had without you spending double the time of shooting all those bullets. So it is still one of the best perks of all time, in my opinion, and I still actually
more
believe
damage.
It's better than even Speed Cola and Quick Revive. Now, obviously, if you have one weapons, Speed Cola is better, but in all honesty, if you grab Double Tap 2.0, it made every single gun that you would pick up better, apart from, like, rocket launchers. So I gotta give it some respect for that at the very least. Now, let's get into the Black Ops 2 perks. So this
Electric Cherry.
Electric Cherry.
And Tombstone and Who's Who.
Who's Who as well. The original version of Voltrade, not the new one. And then obviously we could have added Wonder Fizz, but honestly, if I did, I'd probably put it in the B tier. Now, Electric Cherry, I've always felt like was an amazing perk in Mob of the Dead. I feel like
I feel like it got downgraded over time into like BO3. Because Electric Cherry, like, I'm not gonna say it fell off because it was still good in other maps, but it kind of fell off. Unfortunately, it's still good.
It came into Black
I give
Ops
it maybe
3,
an A or top of B.
Strong. It didn't have as much power as it should have, in my opinion. And so ultimately, I just think that Electric Cherry, at least in Black Ops 2, to be quite honest, I put it in the A tier in my last list, and I think I'm still going to keep it there. Because while, yes, I do believe that in Black Ops 3, it's probably like a B tier perk, especially with how powerful
with custom maps,
is.
and then like just in normal zombies.
It's really one of the best perks that you could run. And honestly, it was one of the best inclusions we've seen.
It can save you. It's pretty situational in some moments.
In perks in almost 15 years. Like, it is genuinely one of the greatest perks they've ever put out in the game. Now, for Tombstone, man, I'm tempted to put this right at the bottom, especially the new variation of Tombstone. It is bad. Like, especially the Cold War variation. In all honesty, I think they're about the same. Like, the Cold War variation is a little better because it allows you to potentially keep those perks on solo. But man, I just hope that this perk does not get brought back into Black Ops 6. We have a map called The Tomb, and so a lot of people are thinking Tombstone's coming back. But to be honest, even if it does...
Dude, I would not grab that, but Tombstone sucks so bad.
Because I doubt that it would be any good. So ultimately, I think it still belongs in the C tier. The Cold War version is just slightly...
I don't know if my man's coming back for the rest of the video, but...
better, but just not by much. I find that it is just awful after so much. It's really the only perk you never really need to buy in Black Ops Cold War. And as well for Tombstone, like, you have the glitches that you could do in Black Ops 2 to get the 6 perks, which was really cool. But outside of that, yeah, I didn't think it was that great. Now, who's who? Honestly, with a lot of the Die Rise speedruns I've been seeing,
who's who? B? I'd put it, I don't know if he's leaving it in B, but honestly, before hearing him, I'd put it C, because there is no D tier on this list, so I'd just put it C, probably.
I definitely like this perk a lot more, and so to be quite honest, I'd be tempted to put it in the F tier because it can be so bad, at least for high rounds. But in all honesty, it definitely has more of a usage, I would say, than the C tier perk. So I actually can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm going to put it in the bottom of the B tier. I believe it's actually that good.
I'd put it C tier.
Have utilization for the speed run.
I'd put it honestly worse than Double Tap 1.
Alva Knuckle to hop off the map quickly, and so honestly, speedrunners have definitely changed my mind on this perk. Before, I would definitely have thrown it into the F tier next to Deadshot.
I gotta put it C still.
It definitely can have some sort of strategy.
Those Die Rise speedruns, though, they utilize it a lot. It's really good.
To it. Now, our last perk for Black
Ops Elixir. Honestly, I think since there is an SS tier, I'd put it in S. If there wasn't, I put it in A. It just wasn't on enough, like, maps, not including customs.
Voltrade. Now, the original, I hate to say this, but let's bring up also the BO6 version here and just compare the two. I love the BO6 version of Voltrade because it fixes a lot of the problems with the point system in BO6. But the issue is they remove so much of the core mechanics of the way it works. And so you have to run.
I don't really like the BO6 Voltrade, honestly.
The way that the original Voltrade is. And I actually think that the original Voltrade is stylized better and honestly works a lot better. Like, I still enjoy the BO6 Voltrade, but ultimately, I still also believe that the one from Buried is a lot better. better. And ultimately,
yeah, I wish the buried one was on more maps though.
That the BO6 version is just inferior. I just think I'm gonna put the original in S tier because it's made me appreciate the original a lot more. And I don't think that Vulture Rate in BO6 is a bad perk, but I just believe that it doesn't do
think it's too bad. I'd put it maybe B, honestly, the BO6 Vulture Rate.
A machine, and obviously the augments are very powerful for it. I definitely don't think it is as good as the original, and I think I'm gonna stick with the A tier on that. And I will, honestly, I'll put it at the top of the A tier. I actually think it's one of the best perks you can get in Black Ops 6. Now, obviously, Black Ops 3 only introduced Widow's Wine, so let's get into this. In my last tier list, I put Widow's Wine at the very top of the game of all of the perks, and ultimately, in a lot of strategies, I do believe that it is actually, like, sometimes better than the original version of Juggernog, but ultimately,
overall, I don't think Widow's Wine is better than Jug. It is close.
For usage of it, people will always want to use the original Juggernog a lot more.
I'd rather have Jug than Widow's.
With Widow's Wine still in the double S tier, but I don't think I'm honestly gonna have it anywhere like beating Jug. I think it's, yes, definitely top 3 perks of all time. But ultimately, you know what's crazy? With the BO4 perks, I actually think Winter's Whale SS. It's because of honestly, what you have it in the modifier for BO4.
I don't know. Oh yeah, the modifier. If we're doing the modifier slot, definitely. But if no modifier slot, probably Widow's Wine's better.
It's able to instantly recharge, and that is the biggest.
I don't know if my Jacob's coming back to the rest of the video, but
thing that it has over Widow's Wine. Widow's Wine, you have to get lucky and hopefully pick up the power up, whereas Winter's Whale just recharges over time, and it recharges fast. And I think the effect of Winter's Whale is also a lot more stronger than Widow's Wine. Ultimately, I actually think this is the very best perk in all of Black Ops 4 Zombies. So now let's obviously get into the BO4 perks. So we have Bandolier Bandit, Blaze Phase, Blood Wolf Bite, the absolute GOAT, Dying Wish,
Dying Wish better go in. Dude, Dying Wish better go in SS tier, honestly.
Time Slip, Victorious, and Zombshell. Now, a lot of the other ones are obviously just included with a lot of BO4 perks we've already seen.
Yeah,
so let's get
like
into this. Now,
stuff like that.
Bandolier Bandit, I also think, is one of the greatest perks in Black Ops 4 Zombies. And ultimately, in my last tier list, I actually put it in the B tier. But I think I'm going to pop it up to the A tier. I've seen that, like, the biggest thing that makes it an A tier perk is that it gives you extra ammo for the wonder weapons, and that is a huge game changer. That literally is what makes it such a must run, and especially when you have the Helion Salvo strategy. To me, I actually think it's like one of the best perks.
Oh my god, I thought that was the video. I was like, what?
I'm back.
Okay, since you missed a lot, I'll say where you put everything.
Cut this out. I forget what that was like.
There is no D tier, remember. So Tombstone in C, Mule Kick in B, Who's Who in B, Bandolier Bandit in A, Electric Cherry A, PhD Flopper A, BO6 Vulture's Aid A, Original Vulture's Aid S, Quick Revive S, Speed Cola S, Double Tap 2 SS, Stamina Up SS, Widow's Wine SS, and Jug SS. So we're continuing here. We got all the BO4 perks to break.
You could even argue that it's an S tier perk in a lot of ways, but I think I'm going to stick it with the A tier. And honestly, in a lot of regards, I actually think it's better than OG PhD and Electric Cherry.
Yeah, because it just gives you more ammo. That's a lot better.
With Vulture 8 here. So Blaze Phase is the perk that I think I'm going to put in.
Vulture should be an SS, by the way. Just gotta say.
The original one's in S tier. If you look, it's the 3rd slot in S tier. Blaze Phase,
I had it in like the C.
Blaze Phase on Black Ops 4. Essentially, it makes it to where when you crouch and stand up, after like 5 seconds, it'll like push you forward, and you gotta wait 30-second cooldown. What's useful about that? Just run.
What?
Here in my last perk tree, and honestly, I just find that there is literally no usage.
For a second.
Yeah.
Dog, just use PhD Flopper and just slide.
Well, technically on BO4's PhD slider, but yeah.
For this perk.
There's no point for it.
As soon as you crouch, it just slides you forward. it just has no usage. Like, there's no time where I'm ever like, oh, I'm about to die and this is gonna save me. Because a lot of the times, even if you use this and you're about to die, you'll literally still die. And so ultimately, as I keep playing Call of Duty Zombies, I realize that this, I think, is the worst perk of all time. I just don't see how it has a usage.
Yeah.
It takes so long to recharge.
Is Deadshot worse than
Deadshot is worse.
I would say so, because it doesn't do anything on PC, really.
And you can, at least you can actually.
Although, no, because at least on console, it is kind of helpful.
Okay, but look, dude, we're talking about in your perspective. When was the last time? I mean, and even with it, he did have a point there. But, okay, he said like it's kind of useless even on console too. I mean, sure, it gives you aim assist, but like.
To the head, because you already, have aim assist. All right, here we go.
And ultimately, I just think it's kind of mid, ultimately, at the end of the day. Now, this is a big change here. Blood Wolf Bite.
Blood Wolf Bite, it spawns like a knockoff Hellhound.
Luna.
Yeah. And it kills the zombies.
In the B tier. And
B tier? Yeah.
I actually believe, like, with all the glitches, with the way that it's able to get you ammo on maps like Ancient Evil and a lot of Black Ops 4, I've got to say that Blood Wolf Bite, I think, is going to be in the A tier. And I'm going to put it just behind
above
Bandolier
PhD,
Bandit,
but behind Bandolier Bandit.
It does the same thing, but Bandolier,
what does that do again?
You get
what, Bandolier Bandit? It gives you more ammo, simply.
And that helps you out a lot. And it's an amazing perk.
Like,
it really
when you kill,
a
certain amount of kills gives you a certain amount of ammo.
Obviously, if it wasn't for the glitches, I think I would still stick it in B tier. I'd stick it probably up in the top here. But I believe it's still like neck and neck with all three of these perks, because all three of these perks basically give you ammo. But I would say, like Vulturade, the original, just with like the invulnerability gas, and I know you can still get it with this one, but it allows you to take away other good augments when you stick like the original version of this. So,
excuse me, sir, would you like to earn income while you learn how to code?
Yeah, dog. Tell me more about that.
DevSlopes helps you earn income while learning.
I don't know. I don't think it's that great. Now, Dying Wish,
I believe... Dying Wish is when you would normally be downed. It gives you 30 seconds to escape, and these zombies ignore you. So, in my opinion...
It's so goated on Star Final.
It's like a better version of Space Cadet Cola, essentially, since he hasn't played BO4.
Well, so, BO4 perks are so goated. Why?
Oh.
Well, some. I mean,
the perk system is not goated, but they got rid of you. Instead of you buy a perk, you pick the perks before you load in, and you start with Jug, you start with Quick Revive, you get Speed Cola from buying the 4 perks you selected. A double tap, you have to pap your gun 5 times. That's what's probably the worst part about BO4, but...
Also an S
the perk system.
I believe this is
Dying Wish.
Just behind Speed Cola.
Just behind Speed Cola.
Literally what the pseudo juggernaut in Black Ops 4 was. You could basically be invincible for about 15 seconds.
Oh,
My
15.
only issue is to why it's not SS tier with Winter's Wail is that it just takes like 15 minutes to recharge. While yes, it's an amazing perk, it just has a lot of setbacks and it's very overpowered. But
what perk?
Dying Wish.
In a way, it is balanced in that regard. So I'm fine with that. Now, Ethereal Razor.
Okay.
Wait, let me mute.
One I kind of wanted to talk about because I wanted to pair this one up with Melee Macchiato. Because you can argue both of the perks are very similar.
Yeah,
now,
more melee damage.
Interesting is that I actually believe Ethereal Razor is better than Melee Macchiato. And the reason why is because Ethereal Razor allows you to take out multiple enemies. And it wasn't until like a recent patch with the swords on Citadel Day More for Black Ops 6 where you were able to take out multiple enemies. And I just feel like Melee Macchiato, while yes, it can be beneficial in Black Ops 6, they should have just brought back Ethereal Razor. You know, it doesn't make sense that they put in Death Perception, for example, right? But then it just doesn't... I don't know. It just doesn't...
Oh, yo. By the way, he's ranking...
I have a question. What does the tower, like the guy that's like standing behind the tower, what does that do?
Behind the tower. That's Stone Cold Stronghold. He'll get to that in a bit. What it does is when you stand, a circle forms around you, and as long as you're in that circle, you do more damage. So it's useless while training.
It's like purple. It's like purple, right? Yeah, the purple.
Yeah,
circle.
it's useless for training, but for camping, it's vital. Actually, now that I think about it, me and Jacob got to around 48 on a small one barrier map recently. If we had Stone Cold Stronghold, I genuinely think we could have made it a lot longer. Because think about it, the circle is literally a little bit bigger than the entire like one barrier room. So we would just be in the circle doing ×4 damage. Wanna know why? We would both have it. So there would be two circles.
It's kind of like triple points. It'll be triple points.
Points. What?
Like double points, you get it?
No, I mean,
what?
it's damage.
Oh, damage.
It does more damage. Okay, so, and technically with double tap too, it would be ×6 damage, I think, or something like that, which would be wild, but
doesn't feel as good as, let's say, Ethereal Razor.
Oh, by the way, he's ranking Ethereal Razor and Melee Macchiato, which Ethereal Razor, in my opinion, is just a better version of Melee Macchiato. Ethereal Razor was in Black Ops 4. Bro, what are you watching?
About the Egypt American edition?
Bro, can you stop in the middle of the video?
What?
I'm also getting text, and where's my phone at? Here it is. What? Alright, we're about to continue. Ethereal Razor is just a better version of Melee Macchiato, essentially.
Macchiato. So, I think people are going to be shocked where I put this. I think I'm going to put Ethereal Razor at the top of B tier, and I'm going to leave Melee Macchiato, I think, at the bottom of B tier. While I still think Melee Macchiato is an amazing perk, a lot of the times it's useless, and honestly, you know what? I think I'm going to put it top of C tier, because there's a lot of runs on BO6 where I just never run the perk, you know? Like, if you know that you're just going to be using wonder weapons and all that, it's no real use. And it's kind of a shame because in Black Ops 6, you get a dedicated melee weapon. And I kind of find that, like, especially with the points, the way that they're divided, you don't get more points with a melee kill anymore as opposed to a headshot. So there's really less incentivization to use this perk. Now, PhD Slider, honestly, this perk when it came out to Black Ops 4 was absolute garbage. But to be quite honest, I think I'm probably going to stick it into the A tier right next to Flopper. While I do think Flopper is better, it is still an amazing perk that you want to run for strategies like...
How much time we got left?
Like 10 minutes. And how long has our recording been going? Recording's been going almost 30 minutes, although there will be some parts cut out.
On Salvo, and so it's almost a must-run perk, and that's why I believe it's an A-tier perk. It literally has the best ability to completely cancel all explosive damage. Nobody really uses it for the slide effect. It's mainly just for...
You know what? Now, since we're running lower on time, and I don't want this to be like a 50-minute video, if you want to check out the rest of his video, go watch it. We're just going to skip to the end and see where he ranks everything. Alright. Oh my god, we gotta add.
Struggling to keep up with posting consistently on YouTube and getting less views than normal until...
Alright, here we go. So, this is where he ranks everything. We're gonna go from top to bottom. This is the SS tier. Juggernog, Winter's Wail, Widow's Wine, Stamina Up, Cold War Stamina Up, Cold War Quick Revive, Double Tap 2, Cold War Meal Kick, which is where you don't lose your third gun when you're down. Okay, this is the S tier now. Speed Cola, Dying Wish, OG Quick Revive, Time Slip on BO4, which just makes things go faster. But it's like, when you pack a punch, the pack a punch is instant. Mystery Box is instant. Traps recharge faster. Cold War, Speed Cola, Original Vulture's Aid, Elemental Pop, an A tier Victorious Tortoise, Cold War Jug, Cold War Deadshot, BO6 Vulture's Aid, Bandolier Bandit, Death Perception, Cold War, I think, Blood Wolf Bite, Flopper, PhD Flopper, PhD Slider, Electric Cherry. Moving into B tier. Ethereal Razor, Mule Kick, Zombshell, Stone Cold Stronghold Who's Who, C Tier, Melee Macchiato, Double Tap 1, Cold War Tombstone, BO4 Death Perception, Cold War, or no, BO2 Tombstone, and then an F tier, Blaze Phase, and Deadshot Daiquiri. That's the full tier list. Yeah, go check out his video. See you in the next vid.